In this video, I'm going to go over how to draw what we call worst fit lines by using error bars in an XY scatter chart. So I have already input the data. There are two columns. The first column is always the independent variable. I'm just calling it X. And the values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The second column is called the dependent variable, and I just labeled it Y, and the values are 2, 4.1, 6, 8.2, and 10. What we are going to do is first create an XY scatter chart. So I'll select the values only, not the column titles, and we will say insert. I'll select the XY scatter type and look at the first option and choose that. Right now the chart is floating over my sheet, so I'll right click, say move chart, and save it as a separate sheet. So now you have more place. Before we proceed, we will call it worst fit example. I will also label the axes while we are here. So primary horizontal, we'll just call it X. And primary vertical, we'll just call it Y. Okay. So all of that is done. While I'm here, I'll also add a trend line. Right click on the points, add trend line, and display equation on chart. I'll move this up here. You can change the color because there are going to be a few more lines. I think this will give me the options, so I will choose a brighter red color. Label options, I think I have options here. So match with the equation, or maybe go here, yeah. Make it bold, big, so that I know now corresponds to the best fit. Let's just move it over here. Okay, so that's done. Now we will add errors. So I'm gonna go here and say this is error of Y. So error is gonna be 0.5, 0.3. So each point on this data, each data point has a different value of error. Going back to the chart, we will say let's add error bars. So click on the points and then chart design, add chart element, and I'll say add error bars, and I will go to more error bar options. So I'm not doing horizontal. First click on horizontal and hit delete, so we'll get rid of those. Let's look at vertical error bars. I'm using a custom value. I'll click on specify value, hit the icon here, go to the sheet and select these values. Do the same for the plus and minus, because error bars are always plus and minus. Click OK, and as you can see, the error bars are added. Okay. So now we need to add, let me just zoom in a little bit for you. We need to add two more lines of fit into this data that are not the best fit. So they're called the worst fit. The way to do is that you try to stay as far away from the best fit as possible, but stay within the margin of error, which are the error bars. And another rule of thumb is that your worst fit lines that you draw should go through each error bar. So I'm gonna show how to do that. We will go back to the sheet and we will say worst fit 1. I'll draw 2 in worst fit 2. One of them will have a higher slope, so higher than best fit, and other will have a slope lower than the best fit. The way you do that, you put an equal sign and you take the Y value, the first Y value, and you subtract the error. Okay, so first Y value, subtract the error. and then you go to the last y value and add the error. So we are going from the bottom of the first error bar to the top of the last error bar. Verse 2 will be the opposite of that. So first y value plus error, and this will be last y value minus. The rest we don't care, we will join them later. So what I'm going to do is add 2 more points to the graph that will correspond to these 2 points. The x-axis remains the same. So to do that, you go to the chart and right click outside the grid, but still within the chart area, and say select data. Here I'm going to click on the plus sign to say that I want to add another series. So let's first give the series, this is the, let's just call it series 2. So I'm going to call it verse fit 1. The x values of that data should be just the x values of your original data. Y values should be your first verse fit line. Okay, I think I got everything, and click OK. So I don't know if you notice or not, but Excel put 2 orange dots, one at the bottom of first error bar and other at the top of the last error bar. I'm going to connect them by saying add trend line. So now a line connecting those 2 points is added. Okay. Now I will do the same. Add one more series, select data, plus let's name it verse fit 2. X values are going to be the same as we have before. Y values are going to be the second verse fit line that you want to use. And now these are, I think, green or blue, I can't tell, but there are 2 more dots, one from the top of first error bar to the bottom of the second error bar. So we'll right click on those 2 points and say add trend line. By the way, I forgot, for the orange one I should have said display equation on chart. So there is your second equation. Let's customize it a little bit. We will make it bigger. I would like to match the color, if I can find orange color. It's more like tangerine. Make it bold. So that is one of the fits. And then for the green one, once again we will say display equation on chart. And we will make sure we give it the similar color. I think it's like bluish green, but I'll go with dark green and make it bigger. Okay, so we have now 3 things, but before we do that, we want to make sure that each one of these verse fit lines is passing through or touching the error bars of each data point, because we want to stay within the margin of error. So I'm going to start with the orange one. It's touching this error bar. This is passing through the point, which is okay. Touching this one and touching this one. So I'm fine with orange. There's no problem. Although it's a little bit down here, I might have to change this slightly. Right? So what I want to do is I want to zoom in to make sure it is actually touching that data point, which actually it is. So I'm fine with the orange one. Orange one is not a problem. Green one, however, is a problem, because green, we start off here. It is touching the second error bar, going through the point here, but it is below the 4th data point's error bar. So that's not nice because it's outside the margin of error. and then it's fine here. So I need to make it a little bit higher slope. So I will go here in the data sheet. So let me first close this for you. So we want to make sure that it goes through every single one. So this was green, was this one. So instead of 9.5, what if I call it 9.6? What will happen? See, it got moved up a little bit, right? Let's make it even higher. So this part is going to be trial and error and a lot of patience. No, I went back, sorry. Let's make it 9.7. Slightly better, but not there yet. 9.8, how about that? And there you go. I think we are done. Green worst fit line now touches the first error bar, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So we are all set. Accordingly, Excel will calculate the new slopes. So here, let me just show you. This is what you will have. You will have a best fit line, red color, and two worst fit lines, and slope calculated for each one of them. This method is used to calculate error in slope of a graph. And there's a formula given in the lab guide that you can use how to find error in the slope of a graph by using the worst fit lines. So please refer to that.